We here again. So today is the day to build your opportunity for tomorrow. A lot of us, we stuck in the past. We made some mistakes. In most cases, people went to jail. Lost relationships. All those tragic so-called moments and feel in time into which, man, it's just not good. But today is a new day, and tomorrow could be a better day. You know how many people went to bed with a little money, woke up with a lot of money? You know, same concept as Friday. Friday sometimes is one of the most joyous days for most people because Friday is the day that you get paid. Friday is the day that the weekend you starting off your weekend after you get off of work or whatever that you do. And in most cases, some people Friday could be Wednesday or Thursday, whatever. You know, some people have a 4-day weekend. Some people, you know, they on point. Some people have a 3-day weekend. You know, depends on your work schedule, your hours. Yeah, some people have a 5-day weekend. They only work 2 days out the week, and whether they consecutive or spread it out, you have some people only work 1 hour a day. So, say the least, depending on how you do it, what you do, you know, just make tomorrow better. You know, the motivation for you making tomorrow better is putting in the work. You know, seeking the knowledge, getting the opportunity to get ahead of the curve. Shout out to everybody that's striving to be better. I was just looking at women in Linux, the channel Women in Linux, and it was very inspiring. Listen, I think Tamika, I think if I'm not mistaken, that's her name. To sit there and just hear her talking about why only make $100,000. Who wants to only make $100,000? There should be no cap on the amount of money that you want to make. You know, some people go get contracts where they do 6-month deals for $1,000. Some people go do contracts where they get 6-month deals for $200,000. I shouldn't want to have to cap my salary off if I'm able to make more at any moment's notice, or am I able to, just go for the gusto? Who wants to get capped off at a certain amount? Who wants to sit there and lie dormant, because man, I only can make this much money. I'm capping off, you know. No, don't don't hold yourself back. Make as much money as you want, you know. Even with me, I say the least. Me, Dr. Dunbar, a lot of guys, we talk a lot. And one of the key things Dr. Dunbar always he says that, and his channel is Big Discussion 76 for those that don't know. Science and Technology is his second channel. He has about 4 channels ranging. But the biggest thing we always talk about after working your 9 to 5, then work your 5 to 9. You know, I'm in the process right now of getting some things together as far as business to get myself together and get myself in a position because this is one of the things I've always wanted to do was own my own brand as far as my t-shirt brand or whatever. And throughout time, I just been putting it on the back burner, not really trying to focus on it, but at the same time, just talking about it and getting some stuff done. Um, in this day and time, it's very easy for a lot of us to do that, and taking, the initial steps into getting it done is easy. It just, the hard part is starting. You know, that's the typical thing with a lot of people. The initial, pretty much the designs, the thought, all that goes into play of a person having a dream, and taking the steps and getting it done, you know, that's it. I mean, for most of us, doing things, it takes time. Um, but the whole reason for, just like the thumbnail, you know, work on tomorrow. Don't put off what you can do today till tomorrow. Go ahead and knock it out. Finish it up. You know, there's certain, obstacles might be in the way which prevents you because you're doing so much. That's understandable. But, you know, you sitting here not motivating yourself, you got to be your biggest motivator. I was just sitting down listening to my my coach, by not listening but actually reading. My coach wrote a book called The Blind Champion, and I was just sitting there reading this book and the obstacles he had to endure as a young man, you know, born in this situation. He didn't ask to be born. He didn't ask for this opportunity. So, saying the least, when it come down to it, you know, the opportunity that he was, pretty much looking for is trying to survive and, you know, do certain things and overall, you know, life in general. But more or less, a lot of times when we dealt with each other, he always taught, us the keys to success, to trying to make it in life, do some things for ourselves, provide, information to, we as we growing up. There's gonna be choices that we make in life. And the key things he always motivated us by telling us that wrestling was a brotherhood. In spite of all the stuff that we go through, you know, you're gonna be in a percentile of people that haven't, got to this point or grasped this situation in life to where, the motivation, the type of situation you go through, you know, that's what's pushing a lot of people, far as I know, to keep going, fighting the extra mile because, we've overcome so many obstacles. I got a guy right now that I know. He's on the way to becoming a lieutenant in the military. I know another guy, he was in position to try to be an astronaut and just kept fighting into his career to where he can make that happen for himself. You know, all of the guys, from us owning business, us working together, us, always staying in touch with each other. We have a feed on Facebook that of all of us, we get together, we talk junk with each other. You might have a situation to where you need some help and some, hit the line and we'll talk to each other, try to figure out things the best way to help each other out, you know. And the biggest thing with my coach, he always structured, you know, ability for us to, reach out to him as well as our other coaches as well, to, get some support. It's not always the financial part that can help you. It's more of the supporting with motivation words, kind of push you forward in the right direction. And so with him putting us in a situation to where we can negotiate, our time, negotiate things that, we need to do, or just lost on situations to where, you know, hey, what's gonna happen with this? How we gonna have a leg up with that? So going into different situations about life, man, it's just plain and simple. We can't sit here and harp on all the old things that happen in our life. It's to a point where you never forget the wrong that happened or situations that you had yourself in, but you always motivate yourself to do better. Strive to not go back to that same situation that once was, you know. And a lot of people tend to, be motivated by overcoming the obstacles and, never get back in a bad situation in their life again. But, some people don't, once they get in that slump, they don't know how to get out of it, you know. And a lot of times you can motivate somebody, but it's mainly up to them to get the situation handled. I can teach you how to make money, but initially you got to take the step in making money. You know, I hear so many motivational speakers, they help so many people, but then there's so many people who don't get the help, and they think that the program is bogus. They think that the conference that they went to is not, uplifting, because they would always look at fault when they can't get things their way. So it's to a point to where you have to, jumpstart yourself and be positive. You know, one person negative, energy can just ruin everything, because they're so, caught up in trying to prove that this system doesn't work. They're so caught up in trying to figure out a way to say this is horrible. They're motivating themselves. You sit here, go to a conference. I've seen people pay, you know, $500,000, go to a conference, say I didn't get nothing out of this conference. Man, this was wrong. They taught this and taught that. Well, why did you pay for it? First and foremost, you didn't do any research on what conference you was getting. You just heard a couple of words that, ultimately, you liked. You didn't really get nothing big to motivate you to say, well, this is what I need. So why did you sign up for it? Because everybody else was doing it? You know, I keep going back to this. You got to make your, I always talk about the 9 laws of self-government. Law number 3, applied selfishness. You got to think about yourself. Don't go to a conference because everybody else is going. You know, a lot of people on different levels in life. I talk about this a lot. Same thing with motivating and being around your friends. You might be the biggest, you know, or the best out of your group. A lot of your friends might end up, you know, not being able to excel to that level that you're at. A lot of your friends might just want to live a mediocre life. A lot of your friends might just want to just be dormant, don't really do too much, just want to get by in life. You know, it's to the old saying, grab the bull by the horns and let's go. A lot of people don't want to do that. A lot of people want to stay far away from the bull due to the fact that bull might hurt them. See, that's the thing. When it comes down to life, it's so many situations that we not focus on because we scared. We think we're not gonna do good. So 9 times out of 10, we not. You know, we don't even try. There's situations where people can't even get to the finish line in a race because they're so tired. You literally practice for this race. You literally, train for it. You did all this motivation. I remember when I ran the 3200 in track. I did not want to run that. All those laps, it sucked. I'm more or less like sprinting, but I was in between. I was decent speed, but I wasn't that fast to do the 40 and the 100. You know, Probably could stretch the 400. That'll be a good speed for me. But it was so many people that ran that. My coach pushed me to do distance running. He was like, "Man, come on, man. We need you to do this. We need." I was like, "Okay." Didn't want to do it. Get to the point. I'm running. I'm running. I went on ahead, finished a lot of those races. Got a lot of that stuff done. Sometime I would came in fifth place. Sometime I would came in the top three. But the biggest thing was I think I only won one race, but I always finished my races. I've seen guys did 6 laps and just said, I'm done. Just I can't do it no more. They fake an injury. They walk to the side. It's like a lot of people don't want to finish, you know. And that's the whole aspect of the next day. You're so keen and focused on, man, I don't want to do this. Man, I got to figure a way to get out of this. Why even start in the first place? You know, a lot of people who ran track, and stuff with us. The craziest part about them was they did it because all their friends were doing it. Same thing like I said about the conference. You have a lot of people going to conferences and then come back and say, man, this conference sucked and never did anything for me. You paid for it. The guy, I heard Dave Chappelle say this and it was funny but true. Dave Chappelle said, I'm just like a magician. I'm just like a magician. I get paid for the attempt, whether it works or not. So far as with him talking about comedy, if you like the joke or don't like the joke, he's still getting paid. Same thing with that. A lot of times people go to conference, don't learn nothing. That person's already got their money. You can fight for your money back, but they gave you the information that they've given you. Most people can find out. Not shooting a lot of conferences, not shooting motivational speaker people in the foot because some of them do give informative information, some of them do motivate, but to a point, you got to be somewhat motivated yourself to even initially listen or talk to these people. So it comes a time to where what are you going to focus on? What is your main thing that can help you move and motivate yourself? So a lot of us we have to go through this back and forth. A lot of us we have to push and shove our way to the top. A lot of us, man, just walk in the door and own the room. You know, dealing with business, it takes time. You know, yesterday is not the same as today. Only you can make it that way. You can stay in a situation where you're not motivated, you know, you're not having situations go your way, not to a point to where you have no freedom, you're in a stuck dead end job, you know. Um, a lot of times, Miss T with the T, shout out to her, um, Broke Farmer, um, Hands in the Dirt. These are all gardening channels I associate and talk to in the morning, afternoon, sometime as well. But the running joke that we have on the channel is, I don't have a boss because I tell them that. I say, and it's a situation. I say, well, if my boss is such in control of me, why can't he hire me back after I quit? He could if I would allow, but if I leave, he can't hire me back after I quit. If I say I'm not coming back, you know. And it was funny because I was coming in late a couple of times, and that was a situation. My job told me, as long as I get there for 11 and do my job, they don't have a problem. So I would come in around by 11 o'clock. They thinking I'm gonna come in at 10 or 9, but I come in at 11. You said as long as I come in before 11, so I come in before 11, and I still get my job done. So they come to a point where they say, well, we need you to start coming in at 10. So one day I came in at 10 o'clock and they were calling me right at 10. Where are you? I said, I'm in the yard. They say, man, you cutting it close. You got a lot on your plate today. We loaded you up pretty tight. I'm like, okay, well, the keys are there. And the guy told me, hey, watch it, buddy. I said, watch it, buddy, what? And he was like, you work for me. And I'm like, yeah, but if you don't like me coming in late or a situation to where stuff needs to be done, the keys in there, you can drive yourself. And, he told me I was something kind of different, and I laughed at that, because I've always had a situation to either I had a second job, or always had a situation to either I can go back to one of my old jobs or I can just go make money doing something else, you know. And I don't let pretty much jobs control. Like even to a point now, I'm getting to a situation where I'm just gonna go back into business for myself. But I always like to keep me a little, safety net to the side, and that's why I try to, deal with jobs every once in a while. But I'm just gonna go back out there and fully, run out there and do what I do best. Um, do what I want to do and do what makes me happy. You know, and I'll be making money in the process because, you know, To a degree, I have a set of skills that are a problem for most people, or they can help most people understand their worth by dealing with me. But it's always to a degree, you got to motivate yourself, put yourself in the right situation to where you can overcome the obstacles. A lot of us, we sit here lying dormant because we don't have no motivation. And the reason why we don't have no motivation because, you know, be encouraged about what? How are we gonna put ourselves in a situation to overcome when the situations we put ourselves in is our fault? You know, focusing on tomorrow, we need to be more equipped. Today, I got so many things on my plate. Tomorrow is gonna be the same way. And I always stack and load, fill up my day because why? I need to be moving. I need to be having stuff done. Like literally, I gotta start back working out. You know how much intense that's gonna be. Shout out to Big Duke. You know, shout out to Big Duke. Like me and him were having a conversation this weekend. Uh, the Duke, I'm talking about man. We was rolling on the phone. Going at each other, talking junk. But Duke was on point, and he never lied when he told me. He said, "Hey man, that weight gonna be hard to get off when you get older." I said, "I know, man. I got to get it off now." The motivation have guys always talking to me, pushing me forward. Say, "Hey, man, worry about your health." Hey, man, I understand that you can move around, you agile, you can do certain things, you can still run with the kids, play outside, but that weight is wearing down your knees. That's true. Hey, man, I understand you can still play basketball, do all this stuff with your kids and all this and that, but man, over time, that weight gonna be stuck like it's not going nowhere. You know, I know guys that been like that for years. They can't shake them last 40 pounds. They can't shake those last couple of you know pounds. Um, they're in a situation where they gotta keep wearing, gotta keep being like this because hey, been doing it for so long. And that's one of the things. Shout out to those guys always motivating me. Like, hey man, get it together, keep moving. Let alone me and my wife have our discussions. Losing weight, hey, I ain't around there calling the fat, but I just be like, baby, we got to get it together. You know, and all this. Oh man, the woman had kids and all this. It's what you want, and it's how you want to motivate yourself. Oh, I've known many women that had kids and didn't gain all the weight, and I know women that did have kids and gained the weight. But when it all comes down to it, the difference between most, I'll be sitting here working out my wife and I motivate her. You know, we both in a situation to where, hey, it ain't just you got to lose weight, we got to lose weight. It ain't a situation to where I want you to be slim and trim walking. No, we have to be slim and trim. You know, we have to get ourselves together. We have to get our body fit. We have to focus on, either issue at hand. And the issue at hand is us living a healthy life. You know, my wife just started this week. I think I'm gonna do the same. We both gonna be cutting out meat, being more like the pescatarian side, just eating seafood, fish, really, and vegetables. Motivating to take it to the next level. Eating is one of the ways to help you lose that weight. You know, another, working out. You got to motivate yourself. You want to see a different results in your life for the next day. Start seeing for women a dress size, for men the pant size go down. There you go. You know, and it's funny because I've always been at a certain weight to a point to where like I don't buy too many different size clothes. I think this year I bought like a 42, but mainly I've always been at a 30, 38, or 40. So I put myself into a situation where I say, man, keep my weight at a decent weight, lose some weight, for health, but to a point, I'm already 6 feet. I don't want to be too small, too slim, but at the same time, I want to be healthy with it. So right now, about to get ready to jump off of here, but hey, focus on tomorrow. A lot of people, we have these situations, taking one day at a time. You got to prepare today for tomorrow. I remember one of my friends, we had a joke about him. He was like, today is tomorrow. And we was laughing at him, joking with him, like, man, what did you say? That don't, that don't mean that, it don't have no meaning. Like, bro, you tripping. And he would keep saying that today is tomorrow, man. And we were like, well, if today is tomorrow, and then it's Sunday, we don't have to be at this tournament. You know, I don't know if he meant to say it while he was playing, but thinking back on it, you got to work for tomorrow. Today, you have to work for tomorrow. You know, a lot of people have it with options and dealing with different things to where you always have to be ahead of the curve. Some industries that you be in for work, you always have to be ahead of the curve. Let's get to a point to where we're ahead of the curve, thinking more, having opportunities to where we can focus more on the things at hand. Because to a degree, a lot of us, we have so much pettiness going on in life. Like we have so much craziness, like dealing with people. Like we got to get motivated. We got to do better. We got to get ourselves out of these situations. To a degree, man, we got to overcome this little slump we got in our life. A lot of us just, man, no energy, man. Just, hey, you got to get motivated some way, somehow. If you on YouTube and you're not enhancing your life by getting information, by getting motivated, stop going to those channels. Go somewhere else different. You know, I be entertained all the time listening to some of these people channels. It's horrible, it's funny, whatever. But to a point when it's time to be serious, I know I gotta seek certain, channels to motivate myself or to get to a point to where I can make more money and, things of that nature. But always it takes a point to where you gotta overcome obstacles. A lot of us don't want to get put in a situation, so you gotta overcome these obstacles to make yourself better. And with that being said, you know what I always say. We here and we are gone. Shout out.